Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be doing something that's a little bit out of my comfort zone, and that is me talking about my weight loss journey. It's been like a while since I've actually done like a sit down video like this, so I'm kind of a bit nervous, but yeah, a lot of you guys have told me to do like document my journey, and I believe it will help someone out there. Before I get into the video, please make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. It will be very much appreciated. And you know what, like the goal for the rest of this year is for me to really grow my channel, to be more consistent, and to give you guys the best content possible. So I do have some notes here. I may miss out a few things, but hopefully throughout this whole journey on my channel I will be, you know, giving you guys the tips and what I've been doing really to lose the weight. So far I've lost over 10 kg, about 11 to 12 kg. Should I tell you guys my weight? Okay, I don't mind telling you guys my weight. A lot of people do say I do not look the way I am, but I'll explain in the video why I do not. So currently I'm fluctuating between 97.7 and 98 kg. Yeah, that's how much I've lost. The biggest I've weighed is 115 kg, and that was like years ago. So I'm going to give you guys a background of my weight. So growing up as a young child, I wasn't big. I was the normal size, as society would say. But when I started, you know, being able to go to the shop myself, being able to, you know, get pocket money and actually go out and buy what I want, that's when I started to add on the weight. Being African, rice was a big thing at home, a lot of oil in food, and I just used to snack a lot. Every single day I would go to the shop and buy sweets, cakes, chocolates, and I didn't really do exercise. I didn't play sports. So this is like, let's say from the ages of around 6 to about 8 or 10. That's when I started piling on the weight. Despite me adding on the weight, I was a fairly confident child. I didn't have any insecurities about my weight. It didn't really bother me. I did know that I was the biggest in my year. If I do find a picture, I'll show you guys what I looked like then. In year 6, I did start to play a bit of sports and get a bit more active. But of course then I wasn't really weighing myself, so I didn't know how much I weighed until I did go to my doctor, and I think around then I was weighing around, I may be wrong, but it may have been between year 6 and year 8. I was weighing around 115 kg, which was a lot. Yep. But when I did start year 7, I started playing sports, so I was really active. So after school, twice a week actually, 2 or 3 times a week, I was playing netball. So as an extra curriculum, we used to call it enrichment in my school. I'll play that. Then I discovered I was really good, and the coach told me to come and play for the team, so I would do that, training after school. And then I also started training after school training. But how can I explain it? I was not really losing the weight because I was still having bad eating habits. So now I'm in secondary school, so there's a lot of fast food involved, snacking. And around this time is when I kind of noticed how big I was. Rewinding back a bit, when I did go to the doctors and I actually knew how much I weighed, I was actually put on a healthy lifestyle course, but I didn't really like it. Like, all I did was go on a treadmill and run, and for me that was boring. That's why I liked, you know, doing the netball, because I found it more entertaining, if that makes sense. I'm a person who hates doing cardio, so doing that healthy lifestyles program was not really helping me, and I left that and then started playing netball. From me playing sport, I kind of started to know, you know what, me eating fast food and all of these snacks are not good for me, because I was becoming a lot more active, and with netball you got to be light on your feet. So I started kind of eating semi-healthy, but it still wasn't enough. I still had really bad eating habits. But when I went into sixth form, okay, but I don't know if I mentioned this, but from that time I started playing netball, I started to feel a lot more insecure about myself. Like in primary school, like I said, I was one of, well, actually the biggest, I believe, if I'm not forgetting, or one of the biggest in my year. I just felt really bigger than everybody else. In secondary school, I was, you know, fairly average. There was people who were bigger than me, but I started to feel a lot more insecure about my legs, because I'm African. Where I'm from, a lot of girls have bigger lower halves, and most women in my family are like that. So that's when the insecurity started to begin, because with our netball uniforms we have to wear the, you call it skirts, or let's just say shorts. So my thighs were on show, so whenever I'll be running, I would see my legs just jiggling around, and that used to really get to me. And then I would get comments from people, oh, you have big thighs, but it wasn't really negative comments, but I hated them. And I was the biggest on the team. Despite me being big, I was good at playing netball. My position was goalkeeper. I did eventually stop playing netball in around middle of year 10, so I was playing it from year 7 to year 10. I did lose some weight, but it wasn't enough. I was still very unhealthy. Then fast forward going into sixth form, I then started to be more attentive to my nutrition. Like, I'll cut down on snacking, I'll eat a lot of salads. I started knowing more about protein and all of these things. So that's what I was doing. I was doing a bit of home workouts, but not a lot. I wasn't very active because I wasn't playing any sports, but sometimes I just didn't really feel good, so I would just do some workouts. I'll get like passes, like day passes to go to the gym, but then I just found it all boring despite me losing weight. And one thing is, I had a very bad mentality, which I'll kind of explain further on in the video, and that's where I kind of think where weight loss is all to do with your mind. When I look back at my pictures, I was chubby, but I was not fat. Like, even how much I weighed didn't reflect how I looked. At this point, I then went down to about, the lowest was around 75 kgs. Yeah, between 75 and 80 kg. I'll insert some pictures. My weight just kind of fluctuated, so I'm gonna insert some pictures. And at this point, I felt the worst. Like, I was like really, really big. Despite me having people around me who were a lot bigger, I just always felt like I was the biggest one. And I started developing bad eating habits. If you're kind of triggered with eating disorders and stuff like that, I do advise you guys to not watch this if you'll feel a type of way. But like, there'll be times where I'll starve myself and not eat, and then go into this binging cycle and then starve myself again, and that didn't really help me. I was losing weight, but I was not happy inside of me. Started running and doing all of these things. Then I went to uni. I was still fairly skinny. I did put on a bit of weight. I went up to probably about 85 kg, I'll say. Then second year of uni, stacking was terrible. Then I added weight pretty rapidly. Finished uni. I'm gonna insert a picture, and this is probably like one of the biggest I've ever looked. Like, my cheeks were really big, even though I naturally do have big cheeks, but this was like horrible. Like, my clothes weren't fitting anymore. I just felt really uncomfortable with myself. With uni, it was like not just the excess snacking, it was also the fast food and a lot of caffeine, lack of sleep, not being active, even though like I did a few workouts, but it got to a point where I stopped completely. So a few years went by, let's say 2 years. Over those 2 years after I graduated from uni, the habit still continued, and I was continuing to add on weight, and it was becoming very noticeable. Like, I'll get comments from my family, "You've added weight, please wait." I was doing all these crazy diets. I'm not going to mention which ones, but they didn't help. And then the pandemic hit, and I was like, wow, what am I going to do? So I was like, you know what, let me use this opportunity for me to actually, start to push myself. So I'll go on long walks with my friend, we'll do exercises, and even though we weren't doing that much, but we set a goal for ourselves, let's do 10k steps a day. Sometimes we'll do it, sometimes we won't. And we also do like a quick 10-15 minute workout, full body workout outside. And I would try to eat healthy. Even though I was still snacking, I did notice that I was starting to lose weight quite a lot. Like, it was really noticeable as well, and people started commenting on my weight loss and all of these things. But then lockdown ended, and I went back to my usual habits and then added on the weight. And after the lockdown ended, I think I wasn't in the right mind frame. Like, I became really depressed, and I would eat crazy. Fast food, sweets, crisps. I wasn't active anymore, and that really got to me, and I added quite a bit of weight. I'll insert another picture. Again, it was around last year, April, and I noticed that I decided to actually weigh myself, and I was hitting 110 kg, and it kind of reminded me of my past when I weighed myself, when I got weighed and it was 115 kg, and I said to myself, I don't want to go back there. So I said, you know what, let me start doing something differently. Around that time, I wasn't working, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to do home workouts. So every day I'll wake up 7 a.m, go down to my living room and put on a workout. I'll put some of my favorite YouTube channels and workout videos that I loved to do. I bought myself some weights and started using that. I started learning about weight training, nutrition, and all of these things. And I started to notice a bit of a difference in me. Like, I started to become a bit more stronger. Part of that I was doing when I went to sign up to a gym, which wasn't for that long. I started doing weight training, and I noticed how it made me feel, and it was something that I like, because I hate cardio. Like, it's boring for me, even though I do need to start implementing it more. I just started doing the home workouts, which will be incorporated with like HIIT workouts, weight training, strength training, and all of these things. And I noticed I started to feel good on the inside, and then eventually I started to see the results on the outside. But I wanted to push myself even more, so I then joined a gym, and then from them I started carrying more heavier weights and just learning even more about my nutrition, like protein, carbs, fats, drinking more water. I'll go on long walks. Instead of me taking the bus, sometimes I would walk to certain places. But then I stopped going to the gym for a bit. Continued on my home workouts, but again, I felt like it wasn't enough. So I made the sacrifice. Around this time was around, let's say July of 2021, and then let's say from September onwards I stopped, and I was around 109 kg at this point. But then I said to myself, you know what, I can't go back in this cycle again. So in middle of January 2022. Signed up for the gym again. I even took a picture of my first day, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna take this seriously. So I did. And again, I was doing the same thing, weight training, taking care of my nutrition, making sure that I'm drinking water, getting in my steps as well. And one thing I realized was mindset was the most important thing. I'll put a post, well, later on I'll put a post that I posted all about it. So now I'm going to give you guys a couple of tips how I was able to lose about 12 kg in the space of about, say, under a year. It's probably been about 6 months or less. So yeah, I have them all written down. And yeah, hopefully it will help you guys. Just let you know, I'm not a specialist or anything like that. These are just things that have worked for me. It may not work for you, but yeah. So the first one is nutrition. So I made sure I was having high protein. Since I was doing weight training, I didn't want to lose the muscle that I was growing, and I know protein also keeps me fuller for longer as well and keeps me strong. There is a way of calculating how much protein you need for how much you weigh. I'll put it here. I believe it's per kilogram you weigh is 0.8 grams of protein. I may be wrong or maybe right. I was eating a lot of fruits and veg, making sure I was eating low fat, still eating carbs, not cutting it out, because carbs actually does give you energy, it does fuel you, but keeping it moderate. Then I also went into a calorie deficit. I don't do it all the time, I kind of fluctuate with this, but now I'm actually doing it because I'm cutting now. But I noticed that did help me with my weight loss too. If you do want to lose weight, it is advisable that you're in a calorie deficit. Number 2 was that I was being more active. So I was going to the gym about 3 to 4 times a week, sometimes 5 times, making sure I was taking active rest days. So walking, I would do some cardio, but my form of cardio would be going on a treadmill on an incline, walking to places if I can, and walking back instead of me taking the bus. Sometimes I'll get off a stop earlier or a stop after and then walk to where I need to actually be, just so I can get my steps in or take the long way. Number 3 was drinking water. So I would aim to drink around 2 liters a day. Sometimes I'll go up to 3 liters. Number 4 was meal prepping. I don't do this all the time, but when I'm like really serious or if I have the time, I will meal prep just to help me and to avoid me, you know, buying food outside and wasting money and me going back to my bad habits and just ordering takeaway. Just let you know, like, I do eat intuitively. So if I want, let's say, a chocolate bar, I'll eat a chocolate bar, but I won't do that every day, and I would eat moderately. So before I would eat like a whole, like those big chocolate bars by myself, but now I'll probably eat about 2 rows of that, 1 row of that, and call it a day. And it's important for you not to restrict yourself so much. You can if you want, but for me I found that it didn't work. So I eat intuitively to avoid me falling back into bad habits. I mentioned before weight training. Even though weight training doesn't burn as much calories as cardio, weight training doesn't wear me out, and over time, I think it's about 24-48 hours after, you are still burning calories. This is why I opt for weight training, and I like it. I find it more exciting. One thing women say is that weight training will make you bulky, and the truth is it won't, unless you are taking, let's say, things that bodybuilders will be taking, having an excessively high protein intake, taking creatine, and yeah, it won't happen. Number 6 was intuitive eating. Like I mentioned before, you can't come and kill yourself. Like, eat that chocolate, eat the pasta, eat the carbs. eat that crisp, eat that ice cream. Even though there is like lower calorie options with certain things. I'll probably do another video on that next time. Eat what you want, but moderately. Number 7, which I found was the most important one, was me changing my mindset, because a month into my weight loss journey this year, I kind of started thinking to myself to give up because I wasn't seeing the physical changes. But I said to myself, I need to push myself. I need to change my mind. I may not see the results now, but I need to keep going. I can't depend on my physical look. Like, I was using exercise as a stress relief, as a way for me to escape. But then I said to myself, okay, what if I can't work out anymore? So what am I gonna do? I can't remember what I said on the post, but mindset was really the most important thing for me in this weight loss journey. One question that someone asked me was, what has been the hardest part of this journey so far? There's actually 2 things, and one of them is food, because I'm a person who loves to snack, and I still snack, like I said, but I implement intuitive eating. Food has always been a struggle for me, and I think it always will be, but I've been fighting in my mind, which has actually been the second hardest thing for me, is keeping a good mindset and not just focusing on what's on the scale or how I look, but how I feel on the inside. And that's what I think is the most important thing. Even though I do want to look a bit more toned, I still need to lose quite a bit of weight. I have a goal, and I can't just focus on the scale and what I look like, but how I feel and feeling comfortable in my own skin. Also, one thing I would mention is, don't worry about the scales, because how I look is not what the scales tell me. When I tell people how much I weigh, people are shocked. I am predominantly muscle. Like, over half of my weight is muscle. I think I have around, the last time I checked was around 56 kg of muscle. So if you do the maths, that's why I do advise you guys to get one of those smart weigh scales. I can't remember what they're called, but yeah, I would advise you guys not to focus on how much you weigh, but focus on how you look and how you feel, how your clothes fit. Right now I'm going to be focusing on doing more cardio so I can get my fat percentage down and to be able to see all of the muscle that I've worked hard to build. So that's why I am in the cutting phase, and I'm actually excited for this journey, even though it's hard for me. But I'm just going to be prioritizing water, high protein meals, and making sure I'm just active. That whole BMI calculator thing is lies. I probably missed out a lot of things in this video, and this video is probably a bit long, but if you guys did make it to the end of the video, then post this emoji in the comments down below. If you guys do want me to make any specific videos, then comment down below. Please make sure you like this video, comment, and thank you very much for those who have been supporting me, and hopefully I'll be back with more weight loss journeys. Thank you, and bye.